between All About Eve, Titanic, and La La Land. One Battle After Another is second with 13 nominations, and Sentimental Value got 9 nominations. Ryan Coogler, by the way, is only the 7th Black director in history to ever be nominated for Best Picture, and the last time it happened was 7 years ago with Spike Lee. So here are all the nominations, snubs, and surprises. For Best Picture, Begonia, F1, Frankenstein, Marty Supreme, Hamnet, One Battle After Another, The Secret Agent, Sentimental Value, Sinners, and Train Dreams. Nominating F1 instead of No Other Choice or 50 other movies is wild. Here's Best Supporting Actress. I may just have to put them on the screen for the rest of the video to save time. This is an incredible category. I was very happy with these noms. Here's Best Makeup and Hairstyling. I haven't seen Kikuo yet, but I love that Ugly Stepsister got in. Best Original Score is going to be tough. I think it goes to Ludwig Göransson for Sinners, but I love the One Battle score, and I personally love the Begonia score. Best Live Action Short and Best Animated Short are here, and I haven't seen any of these movies yet, but normally after the nominations, they are kind of grouped and available on streaming. Here's Best Adapted Screenplay. I think this one will also go to One Battle After Another. And Best Original Screenplay, where Sinners is the favorite. I love that Blue Moon got a couple nominations. Best Supporting Actor is another fun category. Maybe we'll finally get that Delroy Lindo win. Best Casting is a new category, the first new category since I think 2002. Best Costume Design will probably go to Frankenstein along with Makeup and Hairstyling, but it could go to Sinners. Best Original Song, Look, I Lied to You is incredible, but it's golden, right? The nominees for Best Documentary Feature and Best Documentary Short. Best International Feature is such a tough category this year. I do not envy the Academy for having to make this choice. I wish No Other Choice, ironically, was there instead of Sarat, and I'm stunned it wasn't in the Best Picture category either. Park Chan-wook keeps getting disrespected. For Best Animated Feature, I would love to see A Little Amelie win. Best Film Editing, this is where it does make sense for F1 to kind of be mentioned. Best Production Design and Best Cinematography, and look, there's so many good choices here. They forgot Train Dreams in the screen grab I got, but it's there. But I would love to see Autumn Durald Archipel win for Sinners. Best Sound, again, this is where I do like to see movies like F1 and Sarat. The sound design was incredible in those movies. Best Visual Effects is probably Avatar's To Lose, right? But I love seeing The Lost Bus here. Best Actor is the most like overtly competitive category this year. We'll see what happens. And then Best Actress, which I think it's hands down Jessie Buckley's year, but we will see. Congratulations to everybody who...
So, I mean, of course, realistically, the conversation has started around Tiana Taylor. And I mean, of course, for one, shout outs to Sinners for getting 16 nominees. I'm not one of those people who just really get hyped up and anxious about these awards, because I feel like I don't know what goes into winning these awards. I feel like most of these awards, and you can't go, to me personally, you can't go from, I guess, one of the first big moments as an adult when I remember Oscars is so white and this, that, and the third. Like, remembering just hearing these conversations, there's no way you can ever get me back anxious on trying to care about these awards. Because you can't sit here and say, oh, it felt like these awards were just catered to white people. They winning all the awards. They are the people who are most nominated. And now try to draw me back in, because I can tie it into almost like dating. It's like the first time you ever really try to put your energy into dating somebody, and you really just best foot forward. Like, let's just sit and say man and woman. I'm sitting here bringing her flowers, taking her on nice dates. I'm sitting here doing all the extra stuff, and then she kind of just curved me and ghost me. Even if she come back around maybe like 2 months or 3 months later, even if you want to kind of mentally entertain it, you're never going to have that same luster for her. You're not going to still have that same effort that you want to put into her. And that's how I kind of feel for about 90% of these award ceremonies. So it's like, I see them. You see the actresses and the actors be excited for them, and the directors like Ryan Coogler, and you see how much of a big moment it is for Tiana Taylor. So of course, you're not trying to rain on the parade and ish on it, but you do. I'm not about to sit here and make it like I'm going to cut on the Oscars and sit here and watch it. If they win it, of course, I'll come in here and congratulate whoever win it, but I'm not about to sit here and get my hopes up. And then you be on the internet, if Sinners go 0 for 16, niggas is going to sit here and lose their mind. But again, it's like, why are you losing your mind for something that you literally just a few years ago? I'm telling you, I remember this in my adult time. I remember Oscars so white. How do you get... Wow, listen to them telling you. Watch how people will go. If Sinners go 0 for 16, God willing, they won't. But even if they only go, let's say if they go 2 for 16 or 3 for 16, and it depends on the 3 that they win, because if they give them something cheesy, like, and I don't even want to say cheesy, because there is a black woman who came up with the designs and the way the visuals, the way it looks. So cool if she win, of course people gonna celebrate. But if it's for stuff like that, you're gonna be pissed if what's the white boy to be at all the Knicks games? Charlemagne or whatever the hell his name is. I just know he be at all the Knicks games. If he beat Michael B. Jordan for Best Actor, y'all are gonna be pissed. If what's the older dude that everybody was making a big deal? He was in Sinners, the old man. He played the old man in the joint. He played I can't remember his name. Lindell, what's his name? Lindell Carter, I believe. If he loses, you're gonna feel some type of way, especially if he loses to somebody that you feel like, and 9 times out of 10, you probably didn't watch the movie as a black person. And that is something that I am doing right now in the process, of course, because it's a snowstorm. I paused it. I really haven't got through it. I probably got to put HBO Max on my phone so I can kind of really lock in, because I'm one of the people like, if it's on TV, I can watch, and for some reason it's kind of a little bit slow. I'm probably just as bad as the kids, but I watch movies and kind of really take it in better while I'm playing the game. So if I put it on my phone instead of trying to watch it on TV, realistically, I'll get through one battle or another and really be able to have a real thought on it, because I see so many people giving Tiana Taylor. And let's be clear, I got through like 35 minutes of it, and I know that people said she wasn't even in it for that long, so I'm sure probably the next 10 or 15 minutes her character may either die off or just not on it anymore. And I see where people kind of can get upset, because her character is that first like 30 minutes into it, she's super, like, she kind of low-key like selling cheeks or giving up cheeks to be able to pull off missions, because they got like different little situations where they blowing stuff up or whatever the case may be. Like I said, I think I really need to probably even start that 30 minutes back over, really to digest and understand what they're doing. But I'm paying it, like I'm watching it, but I was kind of like really wasn't locked in like I need to be. But to pay attention to how her character was giving it up. Like I seen her kissing, what was my man, and this, I'm super bad with white people names. I forgot whatever the super popular white dude is in the movie. That she was tongue kissing as soon as the movie came in, and they was making out. They had like 5 makeout scenes, probably like the first 10 minutes of the jump. So I kind of understand why people felt some type of way, but I mean, it's still a great look for Tiana Taylor. And then she kind of linked up with this super old white dude. She ended up being pregnant. She ended up getting beat up. Like, I get where people may have felt some type of way, because again, to me, the movie that I watched, the Tiana Taylor's all the way through, and think she had an amazing character in 2 different movies. Of course, that the first one was what was it called, 1900 Block or something? I forgot what it was called, but it was a joint that went straight to streaming. And then of course Straws with Tyler Perry. So I kind of understand for people to get upset, like, why is she getting highlighted for this movie? But I mean, she played her role. That was her role in that movie. She did it at an elite level. So I'm not mad for her getting nominated for these awards, but I do understand where people felt some type of way. So I do want to kind of play a couple of people who did feel some type of way about what Tiana Taylor got going on right now.
I'm going to ask a question. If you're a Tiana Taylor fan, you're going to be offended. I'm going to ask a question. What are our thoughts about this? What are our thoughts about this being what Vanity Fair posted the day after Tiana Taylor won a Golden Globe? What are our thoughts about the juxtaposition of what's happening in this cover? You want to know my thoughts? Well, I'm glad you asked. Let's start off with the caption up here, in which they talk about her electric Golden Globe winning performance, call it an exercise in resilience and vulnerability. I have been very vocal already about how I dislike this movie, how I dislike the portrayal of basically every single Black woman, how I dislike the writing and the storytelling, how I think that this was a movie that could have been done in an hour and 45 minutes. I don't like this movie at all. I think that there have been better projects made over the past year, even if you put Sinners aside. However, as I previously mentioned, award show season is political. Award show season is about appeasing the right people and getting the votes that you need in order to win. And somebody on Threads the other day suggested that they think Tiana might have taken the bait, and that might be why she's a little bit in the spotlight right now. And the reason why I'm not pointing out that person is because it happened in a thread of a thread. And also, I don't want y'all going after that person for hate when they were trying to be low key. You can hate me for saying it, because what are we doing here? What are we doing on this cover? Let's look at it a little closer. Now, we have Miss Tiana here as Lady Liberty. And if you want to go into some art criticism, let's talk about that. I think she's a New Yorker, so it's not too crazy to put her in that outfit. However, in the current context of what's been going on for the last however long, and also as being a Black woman, positioning her as Lady Liberty, who like basically lights the way towards being an American, I don't know. Feels like there's something there. And one of my main criticisms about her character is that she seems to be this hypersexualized nymphomaniac and very much like a white man's wet dream. And that's what they love to award, is like Black women who get to be a white man's fantasy. So why is her Lady Liberty once again hypersexualized with this like skin tight, silky dress? And it's kind of dirty in a weird sort of way. Why would you portray Lady Liberty as being dirty and wrapped in clothing that you would possibly see on like a Roman slave? Meanwhile, the crown up there, if you can see, it's kind of like beaded in a way that mimics African ancestry, like as if, once again, this is your African queen wrapped up in your dirty silk sheets. Like, this feels very white man's wet dream to me. And knowing that, I'm almost offended to see a Langston Hughes quote over here that says, besides, they'll see how beautiful I am and be ashamed I too am America. Once again, a Black woman's only value to white people is, oh, if you're hot enough for me to want to bang you, you get to be cool. We'll count you as part of the club. If that sounds like a bit of a reach for you, let's look at the other things that they thought were important to talk about on the cover. The 250th birthday of America, which might be its last. The 365 days in power, Trump's inner circle, on the record. Okay, cool. Tainted Love, Carolyn and JFK reimagined. Plus, Hot People, Cold Places, our 2026 guide to ski season. I'm sorry. If Teyana Taylor is supposed to be kind of like one of our new Black queens in the film space, why is this kind of like Trumpy white people shit? And might I remind you, for those of you who have never worked in social media or in production, this cover was definitely created well before the Golden Globes. They didn't just wake up that morning somehow and have this thrown together. No, this photo shoot would have been done a couple of weeks ago. This whole thing would have taken a couple of weeks at the very least to put together. And the person who scheduled it to go out at 8:01 is likely a social media manager who wanted it to seem organic, because when you schedule things to go out on the hour, like 8 a.m. or 8:30 a.m., the algorithm tends to see it as faker. So we would usually put it at like 8:01, 8:05, 8:07. I usually fake the times whenever I'm doing a pre-scheduled social media post. And for those of you who want to keep reiterating that awards don't matter and that especially people of color should not care about winning them, may I remind you that people do, because it can boost your profile. It can move you from Black famous, which Teyana Taylor is, to mainstream, aka white famous. It can move you from making X amount of dollars per movie to 10X amount of dollars per movie. Awards matter because of what you're allowed to demand once you say, there's a little gold man on my mantle. So I'm just saying, between the movie itself that I hate, between this magazine cover that I think is questionable, between her award speech where people said, interesting that you dedicated it to brown girls and not Black, are there things that we might be seeing as signs that Teyana took the bait in order to advance her career?
Again, like I said, to me personally, I'm not that woke, but I love to just play these clips just so other people can kind of get your thought pattern, get your brain kind of moving around a little bit. And I realistically will kind of even what she said about the award thing. If you do have like, I got a Samsung TV, right? So even on the TV, when they're showing you it come through on the jump, like on the TV, it literally sit here and say, oh, these are the shows that's nominated for an Oscar, or this one a Golden Globe, or this, like, or literally on the TV. And it shows you and it links you to whatever streaming platforms you already got. So if I already got HBO Max, that's how I was watching one battle after another. Then Sinners is on there. It's a couple of, or when The Pit was nominated for something, that's also on HBO Max. And then whatever was nominated from Netflix. So they kind of, what she's saying, and even with and that's why I say with the awards, like, I get it. Something I may not be into, but I can't knock and not act like I don't see what's going on the way they are showing me, because now it will make you, if you're somebody who really want to get into some of these awards, or you want to make sure that you're not just unfairly getting upset about who wins these awards, you may want to watch some of these movies and shows to figure out, oh, this is why this is nominated with Sinners, or this is why it's nominated in this, to kind of get a better, because I think, me personally, if you want to have a real honest conversation about these award shows, you should sit here and take time to watch some of these movies that's nominated, especially if you just rooting for Sinners. Like, if you're just keeping it almost some super pro Black shit, I'm just rooting for Sinners, you should watch, especially if you don't watch all the other movies that's nominated. I definitely believe you should at least watch one battle or another, because that's the one that it seems like is going head to head up. Teyana Taylor is the person who's getting a lot of the conversation around the Black people. So realistically, you should watch it. It's on HBO Max. Like I said, I'm planning to at least, especially while we're in a snowstorm, I plan to at least finish and watch it, because I do see a lot of people feel some type of way about it. And that was that young lady's thought pattern on it. So let's go. Let's a little bit of laughter after that, I guess. Here we go.
What do you call two lesbians and a